Okay, so hello everyone. Actually, so today we're going to see another, the online class on AWS. So today we are going to see about um, another important and interesting topic, that is IAM users. What is IAM? So first of all, if you want to go to IAM in the AWS console, so yesterday we have seen what is the IAM, what is the AWS account, and what is cloud computing, and what is hypervisor, and what is regions and availability zones. All these things we have seen yesterday. Okay, today we're going to see the rest of the topic, that is IAM account. So what is IAM? IAM is called as a, okay, let's, if you want to go to IAM, please type here IAM. Okay, so go to the search bar in the AWS console, just type IAM. Okay, so click on here. Okay, so it's be opening the identity and access management. What is IAM? So IAM is nothing but identity and access management, right? So I want you also, you guys also to be doing the same thing. Okay, so go to your AWS console and type IAM. So if you want to save it, just click on here. So in the IAM console, and there is a star will be there here. You can just press on the star. Okay, so that you'll be able to see the IAM shortcut will be listed over here. So you don't need to go and search the IAM every time from the, from the search plan. Okay, the search plan is all the times, so you can just create it over here. But for now, for the shortcut, you can click on star. So the IAM will be displayed over here. Okay, this is what the IAM console. All right, so now I'm going to see users and groups, how many users and groups are there. Okay, now let's see what is IAM itself. I'm going back to the PPT. Okay, so what is IAM? It is IAM allows you to manage access to AWS services and resources securely. Okay, provide a fine-grained access control, access for all AWS. You can manage who is authorized and sign in authorized as permissions, right? To users and resources, to use resources. For example, so what is IAM and what is used for? So for example, let's say for example this is an organization. Okay, so in this organization, so this is the, let's consider this is the this one of the AWS account. Okay, this is your company. Okay, so company is org. Okay, so this is AWS account. Right. So now what we are doing is that, so it's unlike, so you guys are having your own account, right? AWS account. Now unlike, so then unlike you have your own account, what happens is that in company you'll be using a single account. Okay, so you'll be using a single account. That single account will be used by multiple users. Yes, right. The single account will be used by multiple users. So how are you going to give? So in the real time account, so the single account can be shared. Why? There is a reason why, because the all the applications and all the your databases or all the infrastructure will be provisioned in the single account, so that your application will be working on this one, right? So now everybody wanted to grant access to this particular account. And now what happening is that, so you have created your email you have created your AWS account with a email ID, right? Your mail @ gmail.com. Okay, so usually you'll be created your account using the your mail @ gmail.com. Okay, now if you can give your email ID and password to everybody, what happens? Okay, so now you're giving username and password. Okay, username and password. Okay, so if you give your email ID and password to everybody, every one of them, what's going to be happening? So everybody can log in. Okay, but the problem is, if anybody is is changed the password, or if anybody misuse the password, or if anybody shared this password or username password somebody else, the root account. So this is called a root account, right? Because this is called a root email ID. So this root email ID is something like, so anybody can do anything with this one. Okay, it has the top level authority for this particular account. Okay, so because of that particular user will be able to create his own, create and so sorry log in with this email ID. So you can go and try everything. Okay, you have a complete entire access. So what if this particular guy is go and delete all the account or all the resources whatever has been created? Okay, in order to restrict so the access related. For example, if this guy can be a senior guy and this guy can be a junior, okay, and this guy be a new joiner, okay. So for example, each and every team members of your team might be having a different experience and different access levels, okay. So new joiner should not have any access granted, okay, because he's just joined, okay. So this particular guy should be able to get the access after some time or some days, okay. So this guy is a junior, and junior should be having a granted with a very fewer permissions, and the senior should be having a more privileges and more permissions, okay. How to access and how to grant this kind of a permission to the users, okay. Let's see this. So in order to do that one, that's why we are using the identity and access management, okay. So identity and access management, what is that? So IAM allows you to manage access to AWS services and resources securely, okay. So provides the fine grained access, so we can just provide the access to the access to the IAM users, right? So you can manage who is authorized, so who is authenticated and authorized to use the resources, right? This is what it is. So key components of IAM users, one is users, groups, roles, and policies, okay. So what is users? So users in the individual account representing the person, and groups a collection of users with a common permission, and then so the roles are the way to grant permission to trusted entities, users or services, and policies and JSON document to define the permission. So we are going to see today, what is users and groups, and then policies. Okay, we can see the roles maybe later. Okay, so now what are we going to do is that we're going to AWS console. You just know what is users, right? So let's go and create a users now. Okay, so if you go to IAM user, IAM portal, you can just find the user account. Okay, so click on user. Okay, so the user I'm going to create is called as a cloud institution user. So I'm going to give cloud institution FN user. So guys, you can create this user with your own name, okay, or some kind of user 1 or user 2. So whatever the name you wanted to create, you can create it with that one. So now I'm going to create a username called cloud institution user 1, for example. Okay, so now I'm going to provide the AWS control access, user access to the AWS management console, which means that so this particular user will be able to so SSH into the log in to the AWS console. Okay, so what is AWS console? So where are we working on this console? This is called as AWS console. Okay, now I want to provide access. So let's go back to the identity center maybe later. Okay, identity center is not it's not the feature that we are going to discuss today, and let's go back to the I want to create IAM user alone. Okay, identity center is the central place where we can manage multiple things, but let's not discuss about that one. Let's see this later. Now I want to create IAM user. I'm going to click on this one. Okay, now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create a custom password. Okay, or auto-generated password. So you can just choose any one of this one. So for now, I'm going to leave it just auto-generated password. Okay, and then okay, probably let's go back to the custom password. I'm going to give a password called cloud @ okay, so some of the password I'm going to give, so it should be alphanumeric ones. Okay, so you can just give some of your name @ some numbers. You can just give it so that password will be created. So the user must create the password for the next to sign in, which means that so whenever you're creating a username, IAM user, that particular user whenever is logging in, that user has to be logged in with his own password. Okay, so change the password during the next login. So why are we doing this one? So I'm going to tell you when we are logging in, right? So now let's click on next. Okay, so we don't have any groups, so this group is being created by somebody else. So I don't have any groups, for now I'm going to click on next. I'm going to click on next. Okay, so click on create user. Okay, so I'm not adding adding my user to I'm not adding any kind of users. All right, so now I'm here, right? So you guys already created like this? Anybody? Everybody? Okay, so can you please create users like this and follow with me? And I want you to see the users to be created like this.
Sir, in the set permission page, you have opted for add user to the group, is it?
Yeah, add users to the group, but if you don't have any groups, you can
Yeah.
just skip it to next one.
Okay. So now I'm in this page called review and create where I could see the username that I have given
Yeah.
and AWS managed. Okay, so I'll just click on create user.
Yes, critical create users. Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Okay, now I'm in the page uh, similar to you.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So please, everybody, please let me know once you are in the screen, same screen like this. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So if you're not followed, then just please follow with me and please see, look at my screen for a second. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to log in. Okay. So I cannot log in with the same browser, right? Because my this account is already been logged in. Okay. So the cloud installation has already been logged in. So now what are we going to do is that so I'm going to be I'm going to be in the console sign in to the URL. I'm going to copy this URL. Okay, so there are two ways to log in. Okay, I'm going to tell you about this one. Okay, so if you can just log into the copy this URL and go to private window or incognito window. So whatever wherever the browser you are having. Okay, so copy and paste this particular URL and click on enter. Okay, so the moment when you copy paste that URL, okay, so your account will be showing like this. So this is what something which has been showing whenever you try to log in, right? So, so I think Pragati, was able to, log in with the sign in using root user email ID. But when she was logging in, she doesn't know how to log in with like this, right? So now, what is the account ID alias? If the account has been prompted like this, so you have to be logging with the account ID or alias. So what is account ID? So if you can go back to your account, you'll be seeing the account ID. Account ID is nothing but so in the name in the below you can see the account ID. Okay, you can just copy this account ID. The same account ID is also be showing over here. That's right. Okay, so what is the username? Okay, account ID is created, and now what is the username? So username for the IAM user is going to be okay. So cloud institution user one is the username for the particular account. Right. Now I'm pasting it, and the password is going to be okay. I've given my own password, right? So I don't mind showing the password right now because I'm going to change this password. So my password is going to be cloud at the rate 123, right? So this is what the password show password. So the cloud at the rate 123 is the password which I've given for this particular user, right? So I'm going to log in with this one. Now what happens? Even though my password is like I'm showing the password, what happens? The user must have to create okay. So new password when they have to log in. So the reason being, what is the reason for this one?
You have enabled that particular option. So
Yes, so we have enabled the particular option, and also, so the password. So basically, if I'm the manager or if I'm the administrator, for this account, so I should not know the individual. I should not know the individual, individual user's password. Okay, the password that password has to be changed by the user whenever the account is got created. Okay, now I'm giving this password. Okay, but I'm going to change the password. Okay, I'm going to change the password in the next login, which means that I'm going to change like um, okay, so I'm going to change the password, but I'm not going to give I'm not going to tell you the password. All right, okay, I'm not telling you the password. Okay, password didn't match. Okay, okay, I'm going to change the password. I'm reset the password. So even though my manager is being created this username password for me, okay, so I'm what I'm going to do. So even though my manager has been created this password, but okay, I've changed my password. Okay, so even now, even my manager also or administrator also will not be able to log in to my account, with the password which has been created over here. Okay, but if you can return, so you can also download the CSV file if you want to take a backup. Okay, but if you can return to user lists, so you'll be seeing only the user. Okay, this user is created, and the user is be able to log in with this account, but the administrator doesn't know what password they have given. So the password is being changed. Okay, this is what called user. This is what called creating a users in AWS account. Okay, so if you guys, you have created. You have any questions on this one? How to create a user? How to create a users?
So, sir, why did we give the account ID of the account that you are not already logged in with?
Account. Why did we give the account ID? Right?
No. So, why did we give the account ID of the account with which you are already logged in? Here,
Here,
in the previous window. Yeah, here.
the previous window. How did I? Why should I give a account ID?
No, sir. I'm asking, like, you are already logged in with your own username.
Yeah.
Wait, in the AWS.
Yeah.
The IAM user you just created it right now.
Yeah.
So you're already logged in with your own account in the previous window.
Yeah.
So why did you give the account ID with which you are already logged in? Will there not be any new account ID created for the new
Okay,
user?
so because that's why I mentioned with you. Okay, so everybody has to use the same account. Okay, so the account ID will be same. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Account ID.
So that's like the root ID any root user's ID, right?
Yes, this is a root user ID, but that's not ID. Okay, so whenever you're logging with this email account, you'll be logging with email ID. Okay, so you're not be logging with the account ID. So account ID will be only used for the IAM users. Okay, if this particular IAM user, if they wanted to log in with their account, only then the account ID will be used. Okay, but whenever the root user want to log in, whenever the root user, if I want to log in, I will log in with my email ID. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. So whenever the user wanted to log in, so then they should be knowing about this account ID. This is the account ID. For each and every account there'll be account ID. Okay, the account ID is common, right? Even though same account ID I can see here also, same account ID I can see here also. Okay, this account ID will not be changed. Okay, so it means that so anybody can create a IAM user and password, but and which account I'm going to log in. Okay, the which account I'm going to log in. So that's why from the AWS console, I'll be choosing the AWS IAM user, and then I'll be able to log in. Yes, right? Yes?
Yes, understood.
Okay, any questions?
I just wanted to clarify that after the root user ID, so any name users that we create have the same ID but a different name and the password, right?
Yes, okay, let's create one more user. Okay, let's create one more user. I'm going to show you again, how to create the, how we are able to log in with this. Okay, so now I'm going to create a cloud institution user 2. Okay, so create user. Okay, so I'm using the username as a cloud institution user 2 and provide access, and I want to create a IAM user alone, and now I'm going to create a auto-generated password, or I can create password also. So this time I'm just removing this option. Okay, it's auto-generated password, right? Okay, so I don't want the user to be created by the next time, or I can just use it also. Okay, so I can use anything, so right now I'm not giving this one. Just for the example we can see. Okay, I'm click on next. Okay, so I'm not going to add anything to the group. Okay, because this user is not been added to any group. Now I'm click on next again. Okay, I'm clicking on create user. Now as you can see here, the account ID URL. Okay, now we are going to see that account ID URL. Okay, so this one. Okay, so this same account ID will be used for this one. So I have two options. One is I can copy this entire entire URL, and then I can paste it in my browser. Or what I can also do is that I'm just logging into the incognito window. Okay, so I'm just logging into the incognito window. Okay, so I'm just opening this one and I'm going to log in with the AWS account. Okay, AWS account login. So this is what so this is what something which you'll be logging in, right? Whenever you just try to log in with this one, so you'll be asking for the signing in page. Okay, here you can see there are two options are showing. One is root user and IAM user. So root user is that email ID which you wanted to log in with email ID and password. All right. So IAM user is something which you are creating with IAM users, right? So here if you can ask for the account ID, so 12-digit account ID for the account. Yes, right. So what is the account ID for this one? So let's go back here and copy this one, which is also be same for this one as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this one and then pasting it over here. Okay, click on next. Okay, sometimes you will get the account ID like this, no, the option like this one as well, right? Now, what I'm going to do, create, I'm going to get the username. So what's the username? It's going to be cloud institution user2. Okay, so user2, and the password is going to be the auto-generated password. Okay, so here you can see this is the auto-generated password which I'm going to use it. All right, so I'm going to paste it. Okay, so I'm going to signing in now. All right, okay, I'm able to log into this AWS account, right? So this was something which I'm able to log in with the AWS account. Now I'm saying never. Now what? So okay, I'm going to close it now. Okay, now so we already logged in with the another IAM user, right? So this is the IAM user which we created. So first one. So now let's go back to the return to list. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to yesterday we have seen how to create a EC2 instance, right? So do you have any questions still now? How to create a account? How to create users? Any questions till now? Good. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to open the new tab. I'm going to create a EC2 instance tab. Okay. So yesterday we have seen how to create one simple instance, right? Okay. Let's take that instance for example. So click on EC2. I mean, just go back to so go back to the console. You can just search for a EC2 over the top. Okay. So maybe click on instances. Okay, instances. Okay, it's just loading. Okay, so what happening is that so once we see the instances, I'm going to click on launch instances. Click on launch instance. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create a one new instance from the root user account. Okay, so I'm going to show you what is the difference between creating a users from creating instance from the root user and the normal user, right? So from the root user, I'm going to create one EC2 instance. In yesterday we have seen, so what is the instances, right? So I'm not going to give any name, or I'm not going to give anything, any of these parameters. I'm going to create one kind of a simple, simple instance. Okay. Now, as you can see here, we have created three users, so but this user has already been created 2 days ago. Okay. I'm not going to touch it at all. Okay. Now, here so what I'm going to do is that, I'm going to try to create one instance from root user and one instance from the IAM user. Okay, so let's see what is the difference between this and these two. Okay, now I'm going to create IAM user, and I have to click on EC2. Okay, so click on EC2, right? So I'm clicking on instances. Okay, so here it's the same here as well. Here also, right? What I'm going to do? I'm going to create a user from the root user. Okay, this one is a black is going to be IAM user. This is going to be the root user. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to create with I'm going to give some kind of a name. For example, from, it's not selecting, I don't know why. So okay, I'm going to close this and I'm going to close this. So just to you know, um, make my system faster. Okay, so now I have two windows is open. So this window is for IAM user, and another window is for a it's for my root account. Okay, so what are we going to do is that we're going to create two instances. Okay, so instance is going to be okay. So I'm going to type the instance name root instance. Okay, root instance, and that's it. I'm not going to give anything else over here. I'm going to launch instance now. Okay, so similarly I'm going to give launch instance here. Okay, launching instance. Okay, so now instance is got created. Instance is getting created. Okay, this is launching instance. Now as you can see here, so you're not authorized to perform this operation because even the IAM user is not been able to see anything on this EC2 instances. Okay, so whereas here I'm going to proceed with without keeper. Okay, launch without keeper, launch instance without keeper. So here what's happening is that this particular user, this instance is getting created, but this particular user doesn't have any kind of permission to create a instances because, so as you can see here, in the IAM, in the IAM console, so in the diagram which I've shown you, right? So okay, in the diagram you can see here, this is the account. Okay, this is the main account, and so here the user is there. The user is trying to log in. Okay, so this particular user should not have any kind of access to this particular account now. So the root user has to specifically go and provide some kind of access for this particular account, right? So the user should know that what level of access this particular guy should be able to given to this one. So now he doesn't have any access, right? He doesn't have any access to this particular account. Okay, so whereas the root user will be able to create this instance. That's right. So your root user will be able to create this instance. So now what I'm going to do is that, so as a root user, I have to grant a permission for this IAM user to be able to create or view the instances. Okay. So this is what called as the granular level, the instances provided, instances access. So now I'm going to click on cloud institution user 1. Okay. If you want to grant access, click on cloud institution user 1, and then so we have a permissions, right? As soon as you go log into this one, we have a permission. So add permission. Okay, so click on add permissions. Okay, so now, so the permission, I'm going to attach policy. What is policy? Directly. So attach policy directly, which means that I'm going to directly attach the particular permissions for this particular user directly. Okay, so now the command is going to be ec2 full. Okay, so if I'm typing ec2 full, okay, ec2 full. So what I'm going to give is that because this particular user doesn't have any access to the EC2 instances creation, I'm going to give EC2 full access. Or, so first of all, let's see EC2, okay, read only access. So I'm going to give EC2 read only access, which means that this particular user will be able to read only the instances. Okay, read or just see only the instances. Okay, now I added the permission for this particular user. Okay, now if I can go back to the IAM user, I will be able to refresh this page, and then this particular guy should be able to see the instances now. Okay, view the instances. Okay, so it's just still loading. So after the fraction of seconds, what this particular user will be able to do? This particular user will be able to do with the viewing of all the instances. Okay, so now we have already created one instance over here, right? So sorry, my laptop is getting slower. Okay, so now in the Stockholm region, we have already created one instances. Okay, one instance that this particular instance will be able to this because this user just now we granted access, so this user will be able to view this access, view these instances in a fraction of seconds. So now as you can see here, this user will be able to view this instance. Okay, now here also we will be able to view this instance, right? Now let's go back and see that if the user will be able to create instance or not. Okay, click on launch instance. Okay, So click on launch instance, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to type a name probably once the instance is loaded, because it is just loading for all the images, OS type, and all these things, right? So once it has been getting loaded, I'm going to click on launch instance. So let's see, what's going to be happening. Okay, now I'm going to type a name. So this is the IAM. Uh, so let it load all the images. Okay, so IAM instance. Okay, so IAM instance, which I'm going to which I've given as the name, because it's still loading. Okay, so it's be typing it now. So in the key pair session, I'll be able to choose proceed without the key pair. So I don't want any key pair to be created, just for a exercise purpose, right? Just for the testing purpose, which I'm going to do.
Sir, sorry to interrupt. What is this key pair? Is it authentication method?
Yes, this authentication method. Okay, so when we are going to cover for EC2 instance, I'm going to explain this EC2 key pair in the deeper way. Okay, so this particular instances I'm creating just for the showing you the access. Okay, so how the access has been created. Okay, so I'll be showing you about all these options. Whatever the options has been we are going to use for instance creation, probably in the next class. Okay, so for now, just you see whether you'll be able to create the instances or not. That's it. Okay, now I'm clicking on launch instance. Okay, because I just had given only the read access, right? So in the IAM user, so what we have given, only the read only access we have given for this particular user. So only EC2 read only access permission. So the user will be able to only read the permission, read this thing. Okay, right? So an error occurred. Okay, so please edit our configuration. So edit configurations, because this particular user will not be able to create instances because he has only read only access permissions. Yes, right. Okay, now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add a permission. Okay, now I'm going to add a permission. I'm going to give okay, so this time what I'm going to give is that I'm going to give EC2 full access, EC2 okay, full access to this particular guy. Now if I enable it, now this particular person should be able to do anything with this account with the IAM, right? Or the instances. Okay, previously I have just given only the one permission, which is EC2 read only access, so that time that user was able to just read the instances, but he was not able to create it. Right, now what I'm going to do, I've given the full access. Okay, now I'm going to launch instance. Okay, so when I'm giving launching instances, so now this particular person should be able to launching the instances. Okay, so this is how you should be. Now if you can go for instances, there are two instances got created. Okay, so now one is from root user, another one is from IAM instance. Yes, right, this is how you will be able to create these instances. Now this particular person also will be able to delete the instances, because okay, terminate instances, because we already given the full access to this particular person. Okay, so terminate instances, you should be able to delete the instances. Okay, any questions till now? Any questions, guys? Any questions?
Just taking back to the yesterday's question, I researched about it yesterday,
Okay,
but I didn't get any clarity. So I just want to ask you again that today,
Yeah.
when we created the user, IAM user, and with the original user which you are logged,
Yeah.
We were able to launch the instance. So we created an instance, we were able to launch the instance.
Yeah.
So in this case, neither you or the IAM user, they have installed the hypervisor.
Okay.
So how they are able to create the instance? That's what my question again.
Okay, so now again today you're asking about the hypervisor question, right? So see, thing is, the cloud itself, the cloud computing itself, there is no hypervisor is required, because this hypervisor everything is been. So how can I say? So the hypervisor is not required to be created. Okay, because whatever the servers which you are seeing in the background, Okay, so now if I want to write it down over here. Okay, let's say for example, so this is kind of a big AWS infrastructure. So here in this AWS infrastructure, we have a racks of servers. Okay, so in this rack, this one, two, uh, okay, so 1, 2, and 3. So these are the racks of servers will be there. Okay, now what happens is that we are accessing all this. We are accessing all this racks of servers from the internet. Okay, so probably if your laptop is over here. Okay, if your laptop is over here. Okay, now we are accessing this particular service from your laptop, right? So now where okay, now you're creating one instances, right? So now hypervisors are installed over here. Okay, hypervisors are already installed here. So what are we going to do is that we are just accessing this particular hypervisor from the browser itself. So in this case, in this your laptop, you don't need to install any hypervisor. Okay, so now you're having confusion with the root user and IAM user, right? So the root user IAM user is just just a part of this account itself. Okay, so there is nothing related with the hypervisor. So hypervisor is nothing. Hypervisor is something like you'll be installing and then configuration as part of the infrastructure level. So infrastructure level means who will be installing the hypervisor. So do you think the root user will be installing the hypervisor? No.
So, like if we are creating the virtual machine in our own laptop, we should install the hypervisor, right?
Yes. See, thing is okay. Let's talk about your own laptop, right? So if this is your laptop, okay. So if this is your laptop, so now before creating a root user account, if you before you're creating a okay, so we are talked about a root user login and then IAM user login, right? Now before you're creating the root user or IAM user login, so the laptop owner, okay, laptop owner should be able to install some kind of hypervisor over here. Should be able to install means like should be installing the installing the virtual box. Okay, that's a software. Okay, you need to be downloading and installing software. So once you install the software, okay, you should be able to you should so who should be able to access this one? You should be able to access this particular account. It can be root user or IAM user with your email ID and password. Okay, so this is what something called hypervisor in your laptop. Okay, I think you're getting confused with hypervisor in the cloud and then in the laptop, right? So please don't confuse with this. So going forward, you'll be understanding about more about this cloud, how cloud works. So how cloud work is that so we cannot so as a root user or any user, we cannot do anything with the servers. Okay, that's why it's called the cloud servers, right? So only the Amazon guy, only the Amazon infrastructure guys, infrastructure owners should be able to install or whatever they wanted to create. Okay, so they are the one who is managing all the servers. Yes, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a follow-up question.
Yeah.
So in the physical machine, you told you can install hypervisor. That will be a software which we can download it from the computer and run it. I understand that. Whereas you told that in AWS it will be managed by the respective engineers.
Yeah.
Whereas in EC, when you log into AWS, we have different services like EC2 and different options under IAM,
Yeah.
for example, and it has policies, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Similarly, with respect to this hypervisor in AWS, where can we find? Because yesterday with the DMI depot command also we were unable to find what hypervisor they are using it. Similarly, in this console, is there any way where we can see that hypervisor?
No, that's not possible to see. So because sometimes right you'll be able to find the hypervisor name called a Zen hypervisor. Okay, so most of the times, some of the times I used to see that's called Zen. In XEN. So then that's the hypervisor you'll be able to see. No, I'm not sure. If I'm able to see it now or not. Let me just try. Okay, I think I deleted this VM. Okay, probably next time I'll just try to show you. Okay, but basically you cannot see anything from this. Okay, so this because this is the front end of your application. For example, Okay, for example, if you're opening some kind of a some website. Okay, so my website is called as a cloudinstitution.com. Okay, so this is my website, right? So it's my company website. So in the front page is something like this one. Okay, you're able to go and see the blogs and courses and all these things, right, about us. Now, so in the back end, probably we'll think about, so in the back end, I'm using Java. Okay, is it possible for you to go and see what Java code they have written?
No.
No, I think you will be able to see the HTML files, so if you can go to debug. Is it
Yes,
possible
yes.
for
No.
you to see what Java code is they have written?
Java code knows.
No, right? The same way is works for cloud also. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so this infrastructure, whatever we are seeing, so this kind of web application, right? So whatever we are seeing in the web browser, it's a web application. Okay, in the AWS, right? It's the web server which we are seeing the front end. Okay, in the back end, whatever they have done, how they connected, and how what software they installed, and what code they have written to show you this particular browser to your page. So nothing will be visible. Okay, you cannot see that one at all because it is not only hypervisor. So they have programmed. So they have just created a website, and they have done a lot of logics, and they have written a lot of different kind of programming languages to make all these things are connected. Okay, how the IAM user will be able to connect with the EC2? Because they have written logic. Okay, they've written logic, and then and the IAM users policies and access and everything will be able to connect it together. So that is not the only hypervisor will be able to do. So that is only the programs. If you want to understand all these things, then you have to go to the Amazon and then ask them that, hey, I want to understand your code. Show me all your code. Okay, they won't give it to you first of all. Okay, if you want to understand, that's the only way you should be understanding how everything is connected together. Okay, so just don't. I mean, so for now, AWS is nothing but the front end application. Okay, so this is the infrastructure they are providing. Yeah, front end application. So it's a front end UI. Okay, so you should be able to see that front end UI. So you should be able to see the front end UI is a web server. This web server will be able to access this infrastructure. It should be giving you a responses from this UI. You'll be able to access the other things. Okay, so that is how the cloud is working. So if you understand the cloud, what is cloud, then you'll be understanding everything.
It's
Okay.
very important. So basically, it is managed by AWS only.
It's managed by AWS. So you'll be able to see only the UI. Okay, even
Yeah.
nobody will be able to see what is running and what logic they have written. Okay.
Mm. Okay. Got it. Thank you, sir.
Okay, fine. So it's a good Q&A session, right? So we have users, right? Now we have users, and is it so for now? So I've granted for this particular one user. Is it possible for me to grant this same permission for hundreds of users? No, right? So instead of granting a permission for individual users, we should be able to grant permission for the groups. Okay, so what we can do is let's create a group. Okay, so now let's create a group called Cloud Institution Group. Cloud Institution. Okay, for example, if somebody is joining my company is Cloud Institution. Okay, I'm going to give a permission for that particular. So I'm going to add these users to the group so that I can give a common permissions, right? So my permission is going to be Cloud Institution Group. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to add the users whatever I've created. Okay, so this guy and this guy, two users are going to be added to the group. Okay, now for those two users, okay, for now I'm not going to add any kind of permissions. I'm going to create a group. All right. So now the group is got created. Now, if I want to grant a permission for the particular users to be able to create the instances, what I have to do? I have to go to this permissions. Okay. Now, if you can add permissions, attach policies. Okay. Now I want to give the EC2 complete access or EC2 read only access. Okay, EC2 read only access to this particular guys. Attach policies. Okay. Now both the users will be able to have only the read only permission for this particular account. Okay. So even though the individual users will be able to have the IA proceeding. So now the group, so we have added the group. The group user will be having a only read only permission, but the individual user having a individual user will be having a read only and then full access to the EC2 instances. Okay, now can somebody tell me that, so which permission this particular user will be having? Is it full access or read-only access?
So you have given read-only access, right?
Yeah, read-only access to the groups. Okay, so for full access in the
But individually, it's full access, no?
yes, individually full access we have given. Which permission you should be having now? So now you'll be having a full access only, okay? Because even though you are giving a read-only access, the higher proceeding access will be a full access. So this particular user will be having a full access, and then the other user will be having the read-only access, right? So this is how you will be able to create users and groups, and then attaching policies, and then how the policies is working and all those things we have seen today. Okay, any questions till now? Any questions?
Yes, sir. So, say for example, we have you got 10 new joinees, so we can spend some time add their names and assign permissions, etc. Whereas your say for example 100 students are enrolling, it is
Yeah.
difficult for us to create 100 entities.
Yeah.
Instead, is there any way that we can export it from Excel or any other sources and give the permission? Sorry, attach the permission.
Okay, so you mean to say that, okay, so the only way we can give like this one is that, so through a Terraform. Okay, so right now we don't. I mean, so as of now, I've not seen, so that can be create export the users with a Excel or anything. But what we can do is, we can create Terraform. So that's the reason why we're going to see the Terraform in the next class tomorrow. Okay. So in the Terraform, what we can do is, so the easiest way to automate. So it's a very good question right now, right? So in the next class, what we're going to see is that we are going to create the Terraform user. Okay, I'm going to show you probably. If you give me a minute for now. Okay, I'm going to show you that how to, because since you asked for this question, so it's very difficult to manage all the users from the AWS console itself. You should be able to create all the users using Terraform within a fraction of seconds. Okay, now I'm opening the Visual Studio Code. Just give me a minute. Okay, so tomorrow let's see about something about Terraform. Okay, tomorrow we're going to see something about Terraform and then EC3 instances. All these things we are going to see tomorrow. Okay, please be ready with the Terraform for tomorrow classes. Okay, now you can see the IAM user. Okay, so now with this Terraform, see the IAM user, as you asked me the question, right? How we should be able to create the multiple users at the same time. Okay, this is what the the possible way of giving it. So the IAM user to Terraform, you should be able to give Arun, Kumar, and Ram. So all these users will be able to create within a fraction of seconds if you run this one. Okay, we are going to see this particular option tomorrow. Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
Good. Any other questions? Any other questions, guys?
No, sir, not from.
No, sir, nothing.
Okay, so thank you so much for joining this class, and hope you understand some of the topics today, which is IAM users and groups, and what is policies, and what is the permissions, and how to create it, how to log in with IAM users, and what's the IAM console, and how we should be able to create instances using root user as well as IAM user, and we also seen about what is the account ID and what's the purpose of account ID. Okay, so all these things we have seen, right? So again, we are going to see tomorrow with a very different and interesting topic tomorrow, right? So see you again tomorrow with the Terraform topics. Okay, see you guys.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
So with the groups, if we have like a 5 individuals, so we are giving the common policies to them, and we are also able to modify specific policies for an individual, right?
Yes, definitely. So we should be able to we should be able to manage the different policies. That's what called inline policies. I'm going to discuss about these things later. Okay. So in the policies itself, we are having a different policies. One in inline policies, and another one is attached policy. The default policies, and we are going to discuss about the policies in depth in the later classes. But IAM is not covered. IAM is not fully covered yet. Okay, there are different policies types out there. I'm going to explain it to you later. Okay, so for now today we are going to create IAM users and groups and policies. That's it. we're going to see about the, what are different types of policies and how to manage the policies and all these things. We're going to discuss it later. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much, and see you again tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.